they will say that it's the giant mistake. 99% of beginner and intermediate piano players, they will fall in this particular pitfall. He has said that you can even play with the pen or pencil. He played like this, not because he was weird. What is the right piano technique, and is this technique even exist? A lot of very famous, legendary pianists, they used absolutely different ways of playing piano. And it's not just the different ways of moving the fingers, because the finger movements is only the part of the process. It's also the different ways of sitting on the bench. It can be the different height. For example, Glenn Gould, he will sit very low on the bench. Some of the pianists will sit a little bit above the average. It will be also about the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder. The wrist can be flexible. For example, Daniil Trifonov, he plays with very relaxed wrist. And Sviatoslav Richter or Artur Rubinstein, they will play with the very fixed wrist, fixed weight, but their sound will not be harsh because they use another leverage. They use the right elbow movement, they use also the right shoulder movement. They can control the weight of the fingers even without this particular amortization of the wrist. Some pianists will use very active fingers, for example, as Glenn Gould. They will try to play this staccato effect. Some pianists will use very steady, mellow and slow movements, so to speak, in order to create the mellow sound and very legato sound under these slurs. There is no specific objective right way of playing. There is no specific objective right way of playing. Horowitz, he played like 80% of different piano pieces with the flat fingers. In the musical school, they will say that it's the giant mistake. It's not very cool to play like this. You have to build, you have to form this structure, this framework. It's like the building, and you try to do this particular movement. But you can see that a lot of pianists, they will not accept this specific way of playing, or they will invent their own way of playing. And it's all happening just because the main idea of piano playing is to produce the music. How will you produce the music? It's not interesting. Heinrich Neuhaus, very famous Moscow school teacher and pianist of the 20th century. He has said that you can even play with the pen or pencil. It doesn't matter if you can understand the idea and if you can understand what you want to play and why you want to play it, you will be able to play it musically. Because the piano playing is the art form. It's not just the right finger movements, although 99% of beginner and intermediate piano players, they will fall in this particular pitfall. Oh, I just have to play with my fingers, I just have to develop my rhythm, to develop some musical abilities, some technique, and it will be enough for me in order to play piano. No guys, it's not enough, because you will have this barrier, and underneath this barrier you will have your beginner stuff. And you will not be able to go above this specific barrier in your piano practicing until you will analyze and listen a lot of different pianists and you compare the specific technique. And from this specific technique, from this musical understanding, you will be able to form your own ideas and your own understanding of the music, because it should be the first thing. It's not your finger movements, it's your hearing, because music it's the combination of sounds and fingers is just an instrument, and with the help of the fingers, with the help of your hand and specific movements, you can polish your sound. But it's just an instrument in order for you to transfer and express your ideas. At least understand it from the beginning, because you want to play the music, you don't want to move your fingers. It's super important. For example, when child will try to learn the piano, it can work some mechanical exercises, some technical exercises, mindless activity, it can work because the brain of the child will work with another type of signals. Child will not have an awareness, child will not have a focus, an attention, a consciousness, so to speak. It will be more about technical, mechanical repetition process in order to ingrain this technique. And only after some amount of time, when child will grow up, they can add some more musical structures and it will be organically developed. But if you want to play as an adult, if you try to learn to play piano, or if you want to continue, maybe you have started to play piano when you were a child, the idea is to concentrate it on the music first and on your fingers second. So your technique will be the consequence of your musical ideas. But how to form your musical ideas? You just need to listen more and you need to look more at different pianists. Yes, you need have some sort of routine, basic routine, in which you develop your rhythm, develop your scales. I'm not against this basic stuff, but it's basic stuff. It's not about the ability to play the piano, and especially if you want your sound to be more professional, if you want your playing in general to be more professional, if you have some goal to play the piece from the beginning to the end, and in addition to this, to create the pleasant sound for the listeners. And the basic principle for your piano technique will be connected with your musical ideas. For example, Glenn Gould, he played like this, not because he was weird. Because in the Bach, in the polyphonic music, they played this specific music authentically on the harpsichord. It wasn't any pianoforte at the Bach time. Glenn Gould just understood that, okay, if they have played it on the harpsichord, it's impossible to produce this kind of sound. It's not authentic, but it's more about the harpsichord way of playing. So it was very logically and structurally constructed because of this specific music. But for example, if it's an interstellar soundtrack, you will not play it like. It will be weird because it's a different type of music, and it's not even the piano music, it's a symphonic music. The original soundtrack. So you will use more pedaling, you will use more movements of your elbow, shoulder and entirety of your hand. And etc, etc, etc. If it's a slow piece, you will use more mellow fingers, you will use more flexibility in your wrist. If it's more fast piece, you will use less of these movements and you will use more of your finger dexterity. And from this point of view, you can form your own piano technique even as a beginner, intermediate, it doesn't matter. You just have to understand the focus layer. Okay guys, I hope this video was useful for you. I wish you good luck in your piano and musical journey, and may the music be with you.